Please write on top of this one, scales. This will be very, very short and exciting. The first thing when we talk about reading scales, you see this all the time. Places where you see scales, well obviously we call something a scale, that's when you measure your weight. But other times in places that you see scales are, and we don't do this so much with our age of digital stuff here, but temperatures with a thermometer. Does anybody, we don't see thermometers very often. Temperature. Spell that right. Maybe a scale you see with your speedometer on the car, which I know you guys drive around a lot, so speedometer. And probably a third place where you see it all the time is if you have a ruler, which I don't know, does anybody have the ruler here? A ruler is nothing more than a glorified scale. Okay, and the biggest point, the biggest thing, the best advice, whatever, the first thing you should do when you see something, any of these things, whether it's being, when you step on a weight scale measuring, when you look at a temperature or a ruler, you always, always, always need to find out what each mark stands for. Before you even try to read any kind of a measurement, for example, a good indication or a case of that is, you know, when you're looking at a ruler and you've got, you know, they have these little things marked out like this. And it's a centimeter scale. You know, what does each one of these little hash marks stand for? Well, if this is 1 centimeter, what's each one of these little things? That?
Millimeters.
Yeah, those are each a millimeter. Or if you're looking at a thermometer, which unfortunately we don't have anymore, really. You know, and this is 10 degrees, and then you look up here, and this is 20 degrees, and you have this thermometer here, and the little ball. I got this. Hold on a second. The little ball is colored up to this point right here. These things are filled with red, and then this gets colored up to here. And I ask you what the temperature is there. If you look at this as it is, you might tell me that the temperature there is 12 degrees, and it is not. It's not 12 degrees because you didn't figure out what each little mark is worth. What is each little thing worth? So the way you do that is say, well, from 10 to 20 degrees is how many degrees? This is 10 degrees. To go from 10 to 20 is 10 degrees. So how many spaces do I have between 10 and 20? I only have 5 spaces. If there was 10, each one would be 1 degree, but there's only 5 spaces, so each mark has to stand for how many degrees, Zach?
2.
2 degrees. And you have to establish that right away. You know, this is 12, this one right here would be 12, and this one here is 14. This is 14 degrees. You know, same thing on your speedometer of a car. If you've ever looked at, maybe some of you are car people, you know, if you look at speedometers, every speedometer is kind of really different. You know, this one, you know, some of them are marked every 10 miles. Some of them are marked every 20 miles or whatever it is. You know, if there's only one little hash mark here, you know, and your little speedometer arrow points up to here, how fast are you going if your speedometer is marked out right there? Build this up. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. If you're driving down the road, the city street obviously, and your speedometer points, the needle points right there, how fast are you going, Luke? 35. Why? Because Luke established that, you know, from here to here. Ooh. Okay, let's see if we can find it.
Yes.
Can I get it all in the little picture there? No, I can't. Sorry. Now what? Luke figured out, between here and here is 10 miles an hour, because this was what, 20 and this was 30. So if it's only cut into two pieces, this has to be another 5 miles. So you're going 25 miles an hour, which is not really breaking the speed. 20 miles per hour. So with that being said, let's try to find them here. Look in your books at page 166. Most of you are used to reading